I'm Shelley Zaborowski with the Alumni Association, and I'm really excited to be part of the Centennial Reunion. Today, we have the privilege of hearing from Jordan Black and several Learning Community students who are going to tell you about today's learning communities and answer questions that you have and show you around this beautifully renovated Able Hall. So I'll turn it over to Jordan.
Thank you, Shelley. Like Shelley mentioned, we're going to talk about what we have currently as learning and scholar communities here at the University of Nebraska, and we're going to try and give you a great picture of some of these great academic engagement programs that we have that are really encouraging students here at UNL and how we're supporting those. Switch to that. A lot of the things I'm going to talk about today are what is really making our program different than across the nation. What are learning and scholar communities even, for that matter, because it's just kind of an interesting topic. Why they are really important to UNL, what do they look like here, how do we see that, and then what the future is right now, because we're at a very emerging time, we're changing, we're doing a lot of really cool things. What we have is, there are learning communities across the nation. They could be called learning and scholar communities, residential learning communities, anything exciting like that. UNL has taken a very different approach. And with that, what we have decided to do is we have a unique partnership between academic affairs and university housing. And so both units come together and they make these great programs. With that, we have a faculty-driven program instead of a housing-driven or something like that. And so because of that, we take hold and we have faculty that come to us and say, we really want a learning community focused around this. We want something exciting, we want something new. And so because of that, we like to make sure that it is academically focused, driven, and really they're supported by that. What are learning and scholar communities here? It's kind of a broad question, it's huge and massive. And the first component we have is they're residential. Most of our learning and scholar communities are currently located in Able Hall, which we're, as Shelley said, we're going to see here in a minute, beautifully renovated. A lot of the reason they're here is we have both men and women living on the same floors. And so we like to keep that interesting, we like to keep it exciting. Every learning community also has co-enrolled courses. And so these students are taking classes together. They're taking roughly 2 to 3 classes together right now. And so with that, there's going to be a different focus based on each learning community, whether that's a math, a science, a journalism course, something like that. And we want to keep that interesting. We also have community-specific programming, and that could take a variety of forms, whether that is looking at something that is, dealing with a journalism college or specifically undecided students, really helping those students make that connection and making it interesting and kind of exciting. We also do something called industry tours. And these tours are focused around really helping those students understand and immerse themselves into that industry and understand what their potential is. We had business students last year in Chicago who I heard say, I could really see myself moving to Chicago, or I could see myself working here. And it was really cool to see that experience when that student may have been like, oh, I'm only limited to Nebraska, I'm only limited to what I've seen before me. And so we're really helping them to expand their horizons and see beyond what they've imagined they could do before. We have increased faculty interaction, and this takes a variety of forms, and whether that means it's the faculty sponsor that has really driven that learning community, whether it's associate deans, whether it's deans that come and meet with those students and really want them to interact and have fun. So we have a lot of that, and then we also have upper class student mentoring, and all the students we have here today are not only past learning community participants, but they have also been student mentors throughout the program. And so with that, they're working with those incoming first-year students to really make sure that they understand, that they have someone to talk to, that they have someone that isn't in the official capacity in the shirt and tie that's scary and intimidating, but someone they can relate to who's been there recently, and can answer those questions. Why are they important to UNL is something that we really like to mention here. First of all, it's a recruitment tool. I have sat through several meetings recently where recruiters are saying, how do we sell these to students? How are we really making it different? How are we really making sure that students are excited, they're invigorated? And this is one way that we can offer something unique. I know one college actually offers a spot in their learning community based upon different factors, and it's part of their scholarship package. They say it's a privilege to be in this learning community, we want to make it a big deal, and so they'll make that into part of their scholarship package. There's unique opportunities for students. I know our pre-law learning community last year was able to meet with Clarence Thomas and talk to him. That was an exciting opportunity. Our Thompson Scholars community, every time we have, the Thompson series focuses on world issues. And so they'll bring in speakers from around the world focusing on different issues. This year it's religion and how it affects the world. Kind of a broad topic. But these speakers will come to a small reception for those students and really interact with them on a one-to-one basis and get those questions answered and further interaction. There obviously is the faculty connections with those first-year students. A lot of times faculty, they'll teach a large lecture class and they won't get to see those students. They won't get to hang out with them, get to know them, really have that personal connection. And these faculty members are getting to know these communities, whether it's the 15-person learning community or 110-person learning community. There's students that are making that faculty connection right away. They're getting that time, that one-on-one, really personal connection. They're getting exposure to their department, which is increasing because of the fact that those faculty are coming in. They're saying, so you've heard about this? Think about all the other opportunities we have right now for you. Think about this opportunity with research. Think about this opportunity with an internship that I may have heard about. And really confirming to that major and why it's important to them. And finally, it's an increased retention tool. With the university's recruitment goals and trying to hit 30,000 students, it's one of those that we really want to make sure there's enough students here, and this is a way to keep them here. Our retention numbers tend to be higher than the rest of the university because these students are engaged. They are excited about what we're doing. So this is why many of the reasons you can see they're rowing down here. They're not doing too hot here in some of these. You'll notice a few people trying to help them. Oh, there we go. And so this was actually done. We had about 60 students show up for this event. This was at 9 o'clock at night. They were excited. They were ready to get there. And they were going down. They were trying to help each other. They built these boats. It was kind of amusing. And from my perspective, I was laughing pretty hard at them. As you can tell, the video gets a little bumpy. And so then, this one right here was our championship round. And so what they did is they had to float down the first 3 times. And once they succeeded in that first one, they had one of the 3 fastest times. Their boat had to get in the water again. So now, some of these cardboard boats have taken on quite a bit of water. So right here, we're going to start this up. And the interesting thing about this is that you see 3 teams right here. And the team on the far right, can we see this still? Or is it a little, I can turn some lights off maybe, help that out. It's not the greatest video night. There we go. That'll help that. And the one thing I was really proud of is the team on the far left that you see here was an all-girls team. And in an engineering discipline, they're about 9-to-1 in our learning community, and we were proud that they were making it there. The team in the middle here is actually our student mentors. They decided to compete against the students to see how they did. And as you can tell, the other team looks like they're struggling a little bit here. And they're moving there.
Where was this room?
This was in Maple Lee Hall. There was a pool in the basement there, and it was definitely a fun event that Campus Rec partnered with us. Yep.
What do you do here
Yep.
as opposed to what you do over there?
Okay. Every one of the classes is still taken out on the regular campus, is still taken out there. But what we do is we offer a lot of programming that's very customized to those disciplines. And so, for instance, the biology learning community has a speaker coming in talking about opportunities to study abroad in tropical areas in Africa and Latin America. And that's going to be happening Monday night, actually. And so we really try and bring the opportunities to the students. That's going to say, okay, you've had this wonderful classroom experience. How can we make that even better by bringing a program for you? And so that's how we're trying to do that. And so those are the opportunities that are here. The classes are still in the traditional buildings.
Okay, you're talking about speaker here.
Yep. The classes are still up there. Yep.
All your
class.
The classes are still up there. They aren't in the building.
Okay.
So that's how we differ a little bit from your program. Yes.
So this is also a living situation too? I mean,
Yes.
And where are you housed? Where are the students? Right
Maple
here?
Hall, right
Well,
here.
if you come in on time.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, you get the sense that there's real irreverence, but it's like we picked up like, when we left off, like 20 years. 20 years? What, 20 years?
Yeah.
35 years. Speak for yourself.
Seems like 100.
Wonderful.
100 centennial years.
So it's all in Able Hall?
All of
Everybody?
it except for one is in Able Hall. The reason we have one in a different hall, the music learning community is actually in Selleck. And the reason it is in Selleck is there's practice rooms in the basement. And so we thought that might make sense. Allow those students to practice a little bit.
I'm really curious, how did this get resurrected, this concept? Because when Centennial, we lasted about 12 years, and then the Regents basically shut it. We've had enough! I mean, I think that's fascinating, because I was not aware this type of program had started up again.
Definitely. And Keith, do you remember how it restarted?
Actually, I do. I've been here 24 years. It actually started with general studies. There was a gentleman by the name of Don Gregory. I'm not sure if some of you may or may not have remembered him, but he started it with the general studies students, and then that morphed into journalism and psychology, and then it just kept growing. But he was really the driver behind bringing it back. So.
Nationwide too, so you had to compete with the rest.
Well, I'm impressed, because I mean, I feel like I get back to Lincoln, you know, on some regular basis. I was totally unaware that this was going on again. And I'm very impressed with that. That's great. The university's made that investment because our experience was terrific for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
How does this then differ from other programs? I'm vaguely familiar with my nephew, who was a computer whiz, and I believe lived in the new building across from Selleck that was under construction in the fall of '99 when my son lived in Selleck and could see the construction out of his window. But that was a learning community to my perception that he was in as a scholar.
Yeah.
How is this different, and what's that?
Over there, that building is called the Kauffman Residence Center, and that is the home of the Jeff Rakes program. And with that, that's an additional honor society.
We apply.
Both.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, kind of.
I was in the business learning community last year. Bill was my mentor, and I was recruited by my mentors. They suggested strongly that I apply, and then I interviewed with Jordan. So it's kind of a two-part thing where the mentors of 1 year will, learn about the personalities within their learning community, and then suggest certain individuals to mentor the following year.
So describe to us what a mentor does.
A mentor is someone's there to help a student with whatever he or she has a question. We promote events that we feel that are relative to what our discipline is, whether it be business. Business students might get a speaker from a certain company. We go to different businesses and take tours. Like music learning community, they'll probably go to a choir show or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Last year we took a bus to Omaha to see the Phantom of the Opera 25th anniversary broadcast from London. So that was very cool.
It's basically.
All from Nebraska?
No.
I'm from Wisconsin.
I'm from Des Moines, Iowa.
And I'm from San Antonio, Texas.
I'm homegrown.
Just to follow up real quick, I would also say a big part of being a mentor is the balance between the academic and the social. Our job is similar to an RA in the fact that we do often live on the same floor as the students, but we don't have to work with the housing aspect of it. We get to focus more on getting to know them and planning, like Bill said, the community-specific academic events, and then also doing fun things. Like at the end of the year last year, I took my mentees paintballing out and about, so that was really cool. Got to relieve their stress after finals. How many do you mentee at a time?
It just varies community. You go down and tell how many.
Yeah, last year I had maybe 15 people, but then as the year goes by and people get busy, then you might only have 8 that come to meetings. It just depends, but you usually kind of try to keep them, I guess, within your grasp. I guess that's probably not the right choice of words. But even if you don't see them very often, you try to stay in touch with them to make sure that they're doing all right and they're doing fine. I think a big part, for me, being a mentor is we might not have been able to meet as often as we needed to, but if they ever had a question, then I could absolutely help them out, and I was just a resource for them. So.
This year, the business learning community has 47 students, and they're housed on Able 3, so it's male and female students.
And what is engineering this year, 100 some?
109 students.
Yeah.
We try to get at least one mentor for about every 20 to 25 students. Try and keep it manageable.
So for the business learning community, there are a couple mentors?
Yes, there's another mentor who's not able to be here today.
Yeah.
So if you're talking to a high school senior who's planning to come to UNL, what would you identify for that student as the one best thing about associating with the learning community?
I'll do that one. So they're making, I think the biggest part of being in a learning community is making connections with people around you with the same discipline of learning that you are interested in. So I still connect with a couple of my friends that were in the learning community freshmen. I mean, I have 2 of them that are in a marketing group with me right now. So they're making really strong connections within each other, so you're going to be taking the same classes, and so they don't have to feel like they're just going to be as scary, I need to make friends. They're all going to be there as a community, and I think that what we do is, I think it's really constructive in that aspect.
And I would say, on top of that, not just networking within the specific learning communities, but the learning communities are given very special opportunities that other students in their colleges are not. And so I would say that access to their college and tying them in to their specific discipline is invaluable. I mean, you really can't put a price tag on that.
Yeah, exactly, Sam. It's definitely an enhancement of their experience here.
And a lot of the communities take classes together, and that way that they can form study groups and kind of learn how to study that way, and like go up to the teacher as a group and talk to her. So it's very helpful if we're first year students.
Can you talk a little bit about the social aspect?
I held up my hand.
I know.
Even you do.
You can see that we are pretty very socially active.
Have you ever taught them how to, like, take a wet towel and roll it up and stuff?
No, but I will tell you the coolest prank I ever heard about was from in Nyhart, where I think you guys, where Centennial was. I mean, Nyhart is where the honors kids live now, and so their pranks are a little bit different than maybe the pranks that other halls might have. And I heard via one of the faculty members in Nyhart that one year someone changed one of the card scanner things so that when you scanned your card to get into this particular room, it would play a song at you. And they said only people in the honors program would know how to do that and actually do it.
Nice. That wasn't a prank, by the way. That was a survival mechanism.
There you go.
Oh, but the social? Whose question?
I wanted to know what kind of activities the international program did. What kind of activities do you do?
I didn't actually work with the international, I guess it's I was with the pre-law community, but I did hear that they were trying to, I guess, introduce everyone in the learning community to other cultures and things. They take different things out to different restaurants, and they try different types of food and things like that. But I know they just tried to like learn a lot about a lot of
And here,
Whoa, I don't know what
there used to be a desk here, and you come up here and present your meal.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can go either side. I don't know if this has changed any since you guys were here.
Yeah.
We had trays, and you pick up the trays.
We didn't have this here.
Did they serve it to you, or just serve yourself?
Serve yourself.
Serve yourself.
Well, they dished it out.
Oh,
You
they
walked
dished
by
it
and they dished it out.
Okay.
Is it true that we're near the end of occupancy for Gather Pound?
Well, in the short term, yes. Our goal is we'll be shutting down one of the buildings for next fall, and then the following year we'll shut down.
Actually,
Shut down the renovation or?
No,
level it?
we're not gonna level it yet. New buildings.
You think? I thought they were more crummy than yours, actually.
Yes,
I don't remember wood.
We need.
Do you remember wood here?
I remember these. I think so. But there might have been one on the other side.
So
I thought there was plastic here. Yeah, maybe wood on the other side. You might be right. You did Marat sod there. I wasn't in it, but I started it.
I remember that.
You know, and they still haven't gotten the cigarette smell out of here, have
They
they?
haven't.
If we had smell-o-vision, you could tell that.
So this is still the pub, for the most part. So what we've done over here is we've created another grab and go for the sandwiches. So,
Oh my gosh, this is new.
that open area over there was
Yeah, that was what we were.
handicap access. Well, it's the ADA, which is what all that museum studies.
Same floor.
I don't.
This was the same floor. There was just kind of a junky room, as I recall. There was
We
like
had meetings in there once in a while.
seats right around here.
We're in Raymond Hall. We're under the
Yeah.
entrance area to Raymond Hall.
A lot of people gravitated towards the state university, a lot of universities, whether they're professors on down to staff here and
Hey, dude.
So what part of Washington? I didn't even know it. Halfway between Seattle and oh, right. Where the Seattle
Hello.
Hey, you found your way back.
Yes, it is.
I'm so glad.
Wandering aimlessly now.
Bill Locke.
Wow, gosh, it's Bill.
College. I think you came to our house for dinner.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well,
It's a couple days tall. So we have the software.
mid-70s, maybe. I think we were all out of college, actually, when we started getting dinner. Terry Wilker's house.
Let's see, she's a waitress at the Blue Orchid.
Jan is with me. She was not a Centennial College. She is in
Learning communities are sort of a small step in the right direction.
That's my 13-year-old daughter.
They only have room for about 2%.
I don't know if it was my first year.
most of us say, if you got a master's degree, maybe you could teach. But, I knew a lot of people who took their initial degree and go,
I wish I brought it, dang it.
I've still got
they went back and got a teaching certificate and went to the high school.
Wear that T-shirt.
he doesn't have his.
I found it, but I forgot it. Bring it tomorrow.
Hippie shirt that it was all embroidered and everything. I was going to wear that, but unfortunately,
Hard to fit into those things now, though.
God knows. I can't wear white. Can you, Chuck?
What's that?
Can you wear white?
Oh, yeah. Of course. I lie, too.
Now, if I can find this place tomorrow, I've never been out there, but.
Oh, the place by Raymond.
Yeah, they say it's East of Raymond. East of Raymond,
But
so.
you know, there's a huge construction on 14th. There's huge construction. You have to go over to 27th
Yeah, it
and
sounds
back
like-
over on Arbor. I know
Well-
for a fact because my brother lives out there.
Well, what I was told.
Carol Rice's sister?
No, Lyle Shane's wife.
Oh,
Carol Rice's sister is my wife, Kathy, and she's not here. Neither's Carol, neither's John.
neither is John. So,
John wanted to be here.
You want to hear a funny story?
Tell again.
About John? So I was at a party in Minneapolis with friends, and I kept looking at this guy who was their neighbor. He was there, and I kept looking at him and just saying, I finally came up to him and I said, I know you. I don't know from where, but I know you. And he says, what's your name? I said, Marilee Hattie. I said, it used to be Marilee Anderson. He goes, I'm John Murphy. And I said, oh my God, I'm the first woman you slept with. Which is true. Except we were just slept. We didn't do anything else. We just slept. We just slept. Real seriously. It was last words. Yeah. It's true. It's true.
That's why you're wearing white, right?
No. Seriously, we went to hair together. I didn't know the guy. We went to hair, like in Centennial, they go, who wants to go to Colorado and see hair? Who wants to go to Boulder? Oh, I will. So you grab something, you get in a car with complete strangers. So it was perfect. and John, and we ended up in a hotel, and there was a bed and there was the floor. I could sleep in the bed with John or on the floor, and I thought, oh, I'll sleep in the bed. So in the morning, of course, must have tried something, but you know. In the morning, he got up and he looked at me and he said, "You're the first woman I've slept with." And I go, "Remember, we only slept."
Yeah. And nowadays, I can guarantee that you wouldn't sleep because he snores horribly.
No, you don't know my husband. My husband works. He snores so bad that when we went to family camping trips, our tent was over in the snoring section, like way over there. They wouldn't even let us. No, it was fun. It was fun. We went to see hair.
Yeah, that's great.
That's not going to go anywhere, is it? So you're all at least one person. So why is it Kara here? What happened to her?
Anyone here I do know, I haven't seen very well in something like 40 years.
40 years.
Commissioner naturally from Nebraska. Just like all the other
Who did she hang out with? Who were those guys?
I was sorry to share.
It's the new world.
I'm retired.
I'm jealous. There was a reunion in like 1989, and I went to it. I don't remember. I was not there. I haven't been here a while.
It's a cluster of Roberts. A cluster of Roberts.
Are you like
Roberts?
You're documenting everything?
Yeah, Larry's going to edit it together then.
Southern Illinois University. The lock.
How's your father doing?
I'm fine, Kirk. How are you? Are you in Lincoln still?
Yes, bought a house,
I'm sorry.
paid it off, ready to retire soon.
Hi, Bill.
How are you?
Chuck.
Oh, yes. How are you?
Nice to see you, man.
The man with the camera.
I used to walk around the halls and
Yeah.
Hello, how are you doing?
somebody's got to
Happy to be here?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Ready for some storytelling?
Charles, I know it's Chuck Paul, right?
Hey, very good.
KMLS?
KLMS. KLMS. KFMQ before that.
Chuck Paul?
Yeah, I went by that for a little while.
Somebody asked me what that was, I couldn't remember.
Say hi to Willie McCarty, by the way.
Oh,
Hi, Willie.
hi, Willie.
He wished he could be here to see you.
Yeah,
Asking about
John Michael McCarty, my man.
Yeah, he couldn't make it.
One of his prints graces my living room.
Yeah, mine too.
The barn.
The barn. Me too. Got the barn and a couple of others, but the barn is the one that has right by it when you walk in the front room. That's
Yeah, I think the one of his brother with the mermaid is there too.
Oh, I forgot that one. Yeah, he did giant creatures
I've had
for a
several
while.
more, but those are the only two I had currently mounted in frame when I had my most recent hanging. I still have several bare walls, so the gallery hasn't been filled yet.
Are you you were at the railroad last time I talked to you. Are
I'm
you
soon to
retired?
retire. Soon, October 12th.
Okay, well that's good.
Yes.
So it proves that when you hang in someplace, you get rewarded for it, even if you're a philosophy major.
I still see there's a TP sales operation out on West O.
That's my brother.
Yeah, and are you still up in the Twin Cities, or where are you at? Okay.
Yep, up in Twin Cities. Living and working up there. Boy, I hope this directional mic works okay. So I want to talk to a few other people here.
Very loud that direction.
I need to get some ambient sound too. This is pretty good. Because otherwise you need extra hands.
Yeah, I was there. And in May we moved. We're down
near 48th and Calvert. Just north of the intersection on the east side, there's a strip mall, car wash and stuff on the east side of the street.
Now, let's tell the story.
And you go in there.
Now, explain to Chuck how it is that we were both involved in KZUM. At the beginning, we were there when it happened.
Yeah, I was at the original Sunrise Communications meeting too.
Well, I wasn't there for that, but, well, it's like, well, I don't know if I care to admit, but I knew Ron Kurtenbach, and of course he's now
in China.
Yes.
But wonderful memory of Steve and his flowing long red locks, and his girlfriend Carol of the long red locks past her rear, and I want to mention his name and bring it in here. I was Nancy Forst at the time, and just and had a wonderful time in Centennial College, finishing growing up. I was 17 when I started, kind of fresh out of a small town, and it was just an astonishing experience. I moved to San Francisco my junior year and had an even more astonishing experience and came back, moved into cooperative households, and one of them, known as Flying Fish Farm, is still going today, if you can believe that. Went on, got married, you know, very mainstream. I've been in private practice doing movement education for 30-some years, 35 years now. Yes, I have 2 children, 2 wonderful children, who are 2 boys, 23 and 19. So yeah.
Camera. Hey, Larry.
So then freshman looked to spit it on.
Marcia. Hello.
Linda Raymond. Not Raymond anymore.
Documenting the event, otherwise it didn't happen.
Some of them make sure you go to the honors college. And they do that.
Mother-in-law's house, and we sat and chatted.
Is she doing okay?
She seemed good. But it was probably 10 years ago. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I knew I had a
No relation, you said.
No relation.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even known what that was. I've been out of state too long.
Yeah, there you go.
I have a brother.
I wish I didn't know what that was.
Do you get asked that quite a bit, that if you're related to?
Yeah, well, I would say I actually brought some
Counts. The attitude is that the reason that it's special the breakfast meals and the coffees.
Besides our learning community piece, it's really, we're just growing.
It's probably one of the last ones published.
We're just
An industrial farmer. You got how many acres?
We farm about 1,800 acres.
1,800. West or east of Lincoln.
East of Lincoln.
By Waverly.
And so I replaced my father as the there's basically just two people do it.
Oh, okay.
And we have seasonal temporary help.
What do you grow?
Corn, soybeans, and wheat.
Oh, okay. So you have just the standard Nebraska stuff.
And we don't have any livestock.
Yeah.
Which is also...
Dad got rid of our livestock a long time ago. He kept a few fat heifers around, but...
The problem with livestock is they're like children and pets. You have to take care of them.
Yeah.
And if you're a row crop farmer, after about November until March, I don't have a whole lot to do.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad thing anyway, but then it goes crazy in the summer.
Well, of course. Spring and fall are the busy time.
Yeah.
So I have the opportunity to take some vacation. When my kids were growing up, I could volunteer in school and that kind of stuff.
Where did you practice law?
I had an office with another fellow. We were just fresh out of school.
But got tired of that, right?
It was not. I'm not a real aggressive person.
Yeah, well, you have to be for that. But there's your wine. I'm gonna get some more shots here. Hey, Kurt, how you doing?
I'm doing delightful.
Tell me about yourself.
And it's another beautiful day in paradise. Soon to retire.
Yeah, okay, that's always a good thing.
Actually, I was tired yesterday and tired today, so being retired is a good thing.
Yeah, so you're now retired?
Not yet. I've got, let me see, 3 weeks to go.
3 weeks to go, wow.
I had vacation before this.
2 days, 4 hours, and 13 minutes, right?
Well, not quite, but...
Oh, there it is. Let's see. Very good. Does it still fit?
No, it's very tight.
Very nice. Thank you for bringing that. That's great.
And I also brought my R-rated book from Barry Orlick's art project.
That's your drawings you did. Show us some obscene drawings. All right, there we go. That was That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, here.
Yeah, very nice.
Some black.
Are you going to narrate the tour?
Are you developing?
Are you going to tell us about the tour as we go? Are you going to narrate the tour as we go, or are you just going to drive us around?
No, I'm going to get you out there and I'll stop and we'll go over a few things there.
Oh, that's
tell you
great.
how we plan, what we do and how much we got.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
I see. They got a
No, it's not going to be just a ride. So.
Are you Mr. Arthur?
I'm James Arthur.
Yeah.
I founded the winery out here. My daughter and her husband run it.
Yay!
I'm retired. I kind of do what I want, when I want, if I want. That's my retirement policy anyway. I think it's a good one.
Well, I'm in from Minnesota, so Minnesota says hi to you.
Really?
Because that's where you were from, right?
Back from Minnesota, just going back to
Are you?
Minnesota. Yeah,
Where are you going
we
to?
had a class reunion. Their 60th class reunion.
Oh, is that in Austin? Yeah, your daughter was telling me about that.
Austin, man, that's Hormel country.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see value-added farming being at.
Yeah, there should be a lot more of it, quite frankly.
Landscaped it so like where the railroad right of way
They couldn't live anywhere else.
is now a trail. You can walk along one end of the property and the other. Every Easter they have Easter egg hunting.
vineyard.
Wine and Wings
Set up
Festival, which we had
plastic
the
gates,
blues concert.
open up, they have a
Actually,
Down you're right, we have a Penn area where we have a lot of events. Last night we had a big event for graduates. High school we have corporate parties, Renaissance Festival, all that takes place in this area. These plants are an age. They're a French-American hybrid grape, unlike California, which are vinifera style. The nice thing about these, we're going out to California and kicking their butt in the international competition.
Yay.
We recently, in the last few years, have taken the Best White Winer Show, Monterey, which is Napa Valley's backyard, with thousands of entries from all over the world in that show, 100 judges. We won Best White Winer Show.
Which white was it?
Vignon. 2 weeks later, with the Vignon. 2 weeks later, we went down there with our Edelweiss into LA, another huge international show, and we won Best White Wine of that show.
Excellent.
And then when in Redding, California, we won a big show there. We won Best White Wine Show of the Florida State International Show and the Kansas City International Show.
So what is it about the climate that makes it so perfect?
I don't think it's thinking about the
Yeah.
climate. I think it's
Soil.
been about the winemaker and the
Oh,
grape.
of course.
And the quality of the grapes.
Well, of course,
And I'm not the winemaker, so my son-in-law is though.
Yeah.
And he's a good one. But you cannot make great wine from bad grapes to start with.
Yeah.
You've got to start it out right out here with the uniformity and the quality you give it to the winemaker. That's what makes the big difference.
Do you think the
And
terrain
we do a lot
helps?
of emphasis on making a quality grape for him. So.
Do you think the terrain helps too for like the valleys and moving breezes through the right way and anything like that? Or could I do this on my dad's farm in Milford?
Sure can. You've got great wineries in Minnesota.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, really. So, you know, it isn't the state. I think that every state has wineries.
You know, Alexandria, Alexis Bailey Vineyard, you know about them probably,
Yeah.
right? You know what their motto is, right?
No.
Where the grapes can suffer.
Where the grapes can suffer.
Makes them strong.
Yeah, really. Anyway, I said these are French-American hybrids. These were, every branch you see on these vines comes off in the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
The leaves will fall naturally, and then the plants will go dormant, and then come middle of January, February, and March, we get in there with our pruning crew, 3 guys, to take care of all these vines you see throughout there. They come through here and prune these back. Taking most of this stem, everything carries a leaf, comes off. It comes all the way back to the original bark, this rough bark back in here, stays with it. And then you can see where in the past where we've been cut off. Here's another one from another year. And it grows out a new shoot every year. Why not? From these shoots, we'll take shears, and when we're doing this pruning, we'll take chunks off like that. It's called cutting. We save these cuttings in the refrigerator until spring, bring them out, soak them in water for 3 or 4 hours, take them out, stick them in the ground, and then starts growing another 50-year-old plant. It'll come from that cutting. From that cutting, we put these over. It's a green now. It's called a grow tube. You'll see these now coming up along the interstates. In the counties of states are starting to use them. They protect this new cutting from the wind, excessive rain, from the rabbits, and other things that could do harm like rain, hail and stuff like that. As these plants come up out of this tube, they'll come up out of here, and by September, they'll be 6 or 8 feet in first year growth. Then we'll start tying them off to the plant, directing them where we're going to go, and deciding from that point how they'll be tied off. But these do great. And then comes September also, we take and open these tubes up. We don't slide them up over it, we just take them off. And that, you can see from that tube, it's opaque, you can see how you have a greenhouse effect in there. It'll actually condensate inside of there. In that area where it's warmer and condensated, we need to toughen it up for winter. So we normally do this and get them all off the plants by the middle of September, or latter part of September. This up here is the last one out. This doesn't get harvested. This was just a couple weeks ago, or a month ago. This grape come out of the finium, out of the field.
Can you plug that back in again for a second?
Yeah. Anyway, it's so distinctly clear that they do work.
Do they attract other real hawks in the mating season?
You know, I don't know. I have better hounds to talk to.
Oh, a little apple orchard here, Tom.